The editor-in-chief tore up his contract over a hat, certain he'd won the battle. But who could have imagined that this fired writer would turn the publishing house upside down with just one book? Now, every breath in that office is a reminder of a mistake that came at too high a cost. Let's start with the day it all went off the rails. The bustling office of Pen and Press Publishing was its usual mix of chaos and creativity. Keyboards clacking like a symphony, interns juggling coffee trays, and editorial meetings happening at breakneck speed. But amidst the noise, Nathan Whitman, a 42-year-old writer with a reputation for brilliance, had become the center of attention for an entirely different reason. His bold, red MAGA hat caught every eye, a glaring statement in the sea of neutral tones and corporate conformity. Nathan, a man of quiet confidence, sat in his modest corner office. His salt-and-pepper hair was slightly tousled, his wire-rimmed glasses perched on his nose as he worked on his latest manuscript. Across the office, Linda Gardner, the 48-year-old editor-in-chief, stormed toward him like a hurricane in designer heels. Linda, with her sharp bob and sharper tongue, was known for running a tight ship and tolerating nothing that might tarnish the company's pristine image. Without knocking, she swung the door open. "Nathan," she said, her tone clipped, "we need to talk." Nathan looked up, calm but curious. "Sure, Linda, what's on your mind?" Her gaze zeroed in on the hat. "That," she said, pointing as though it were a crime scene, "has no place in this office." Nathan leaned back in his chair, folding his arms. "It's just a hat, Linda. Last I checked, we're allowed personal choices." "It's not just a hat," Linda shot back, her voice rising. "It's a statement, one that this company can't afford to be associated with." Nathan's jaw tightened, but his voice remained steady. "My work speaks for itself. A hat doesn't change that." Linda's lips curved into a cold, almost mechanical smile. "Maybe so, but perception matters more than ever. Effective immediately, you're no longer part of Pen and Press." The words hung in the air like a gavel striking a courtroom. Nathan stared at her, disbelief flashing across his face before he collected himself. "You'll regret this," he said quietly, rising to gather his belongings. Linda watched as he packed his things, her expression unreadable. By the time Nathan stepped into the crisp New York air, his box of belongings in hand, the MAGA hat was still perched proudly on his head. Nathan's departure from Pen and Press marked the beginning of an uphill battle. Calls to agents went unanswered. Emails to publishers were met with polite rejections, and industry whispers about his political leanings spread like wildfire. But Nathan was not a man easily deterred. In his small Brooklyn apartment, surrounded by books and coffee-stained notebooks, he began writing something new, a novel that poured out of him like a dam breaking. The Divide, a searing exploration of modern society's fractures, consumed him entirely. He wrote late into the nights, fueled by equal parts frustration and determination. When it was finished, he faced another hurdle. No publisher would touch it. Undeterred, Nathan turned to self-publishing, channeling his energy into marketing his book on every platform he could find. At first, sales trickled in slowly, but then something shifted. A viral post praised The Divide as the book everyone needs to read right now. Reviews flooded in, calling it a masterpiece of our time. Within weeks, the novel climbed bestseller charts, its momentum unstoppable. Meanwhile, at Pen and Press, things were unraveling. The company's recent releases were underperforming, and Linda was feeling the pressure from higher-ups. The staff whispered about potential layoffs, and the once confident editor-in-chief found herself staring at the company's plummeting stock with a sinking feeling. The final blow came when her assistant burst into her office, phone in hand. "You won't believe this," she said, breathless. Linda took the phone, her eyes scanning the headline. Self-published novel, The Divide Takes the Literary World by Storm. Her face paled as she read further. Author Nathan Whitman proves unstoppable after controversial firing. By the time The Divide had cemented its place as a global phenomenon, Nathan was fielding offers from every major publishing house in the industry. But Pen and Press remained conspicuously silent. That changed one morning when Linda, her usual air of authority replaced with an edge of desperation, called Nathan directly. "Nathan," she began, her voice tightly controlled, "it's Linda Gardner. I'd like to discuss bringing The Divide under Pen and Press." Nathan's laugh was soft but cutting. "Linda, you fired me for a hat. Why would I trust you now?" There was a pause before Linda replied, her tone unusually humble. "Nathan, we made a mistake. I made a mistake. Let's move past it and work together." Nathan leaned back in his chair, savoring the irony. "Only if you issue a public apology. No spin, no excuses, just the truth." Linda hesitated, but desperation outweighed pride. "Done," she said finally. The next morning, Pen and Press issued a statement acknowledging their mishandling of Nathan's situation. It was a shocking move for the industry, but it worked, temporarily. Nathan ultimately declined their offer, signing with a rival publisher instead. The success of The Divide saved his career and solidified his legacy as a bold voice in contemporary literature. As for Linda, her public apology became a lesson in humility, one she wouldn't soon forget. The MAGA hat that started it all now hangs framed in Nathan's home office, a reminder that sometimes standing by your principles leads to victories far sweeter than revenge. Nathan's story is a powerful example of resilience and standing firm on principles, even when the odds are stacked against you. Would you have kept the hat on, knowing the risks, or played it safe to keep the job? Have you or someone you know ever faced unfair treatment because of personal beliefs or choices? Share your thoughts, like this post, and let us know your experiences. Let's create a dialogue about respect, resilience, and the power of staying true to yourself. This story was created to highlight the importance of fairness and to spark conversations about understanding and justice. Your opinion matters. Let's work together to make the world a better place.